Seniors, if your stool looks like this, it could be a sign of cancer. It's a moment we all experience multiple times a day, yet most of us approach it with a singular focus, to get it over with as quickly as possible. We flush away critical information, dismissing what our bodies are urgently trying to communicate. Before you instinctively reach for that flush handle one more time, I implore you to pause. What I am about to unveil is not merely a health tip, it is a profound insight that holds the potential to dramatically alter the trajectory of your life, offering the crucial distinction between detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages and facing a devastating diagnosis when intervention might be tragically futile. I am Dr. Robert Harrison, and across the decades of my medical practice, the sheer number of patients who have sat before me, their faces etched with regret and despair, recounting the same heartbreaking narrative, is truly countless. "Doctor," they would begin, their voices heavy with sorrow. "I observed something unusual months ago, but I rationalized it away, convincing myself it was nothing significant. I deeply wish I had sought medical advice much, much sooner. Right now, your body may be dispatching urgent, undeniable warnings, signals that are tragically being ignored, literally flushed away day after day without even a cursory glance. The waste products your body expels are not just metabolic refuse. They are a direct, unfiltered window into your internal physiological landscape. They reveal what is truly transpiring within your gastrointestinal system months, and sometimes even years, before you might experience any overt symptoms of illness, before the onset of pain, and long before any conventional blood test could possibly flag an anomaly. And here is the sobering truth that most deeply concerns me, a truth that far too few people are aware of. The most perilous type of stool, the very kind that can unequivocally signal advanced stages of cancer, does not always present with glaring, obvious abnormalities. Often, its warning signs are remarkably subtle, easily overlooked. Individuals might register it as a little peculiar in the moment, only to have the thought swiftly dissipate, forgotten amidst the distractions of daily life. Yet within this alarming reality lies a powerful beacon of hope. If you possess the vital knowledge of precisely what to scrutinize, you are not merely a passive recipient of fate, you are empowered. You gain the extraordinary ability to intercept these insidious, deadly warning signs at their genesis, during a phase when treatment protocols are generally less invasive, more straightforward, and most importantly, when survival rates often soar above an encouraging 90%. Consider this: your toilet bowl, an everyday fixture, is in essence offering you a complimentary daily cancer screening, an unparalleled opportunity, provided you possess the acumen to decipher its silent language. Today, my mission is to illuminate exactly what critical indicators you must observe, and perhaps even more vitally, what inexplicable changes you must never, under any circumstances, disregard. Something as seemingly elementary as the color of your stool can already communicate a wealth of indispensable information about the intricate health of your bile ducts, the efficiency of your liver function, the integrity of your pancreas, or even reveal the silent presence of internal bleeding that remains unseen and unfelt. Beyond color, the shape, the precise consistency, and the general classification of your stool can unveil critical data ranging from the insidious presence of parasitic infections to chronic inflammatory conditions, and indeed to the earliest manifestations of cancer itself. And as we reach the culmination of this crucial discussion, I will furnish you with 3 simple, yet profoundly effective strategies designed to fortify and safeguard your gut health, starting immediately, to facilitate a clearer and more comprehensive understanding of these vital observations. We, in the medical community, frequently employ a standardized clinical tool known as the Bristol Stool Scale. This scale meticulously categorizes and describes the appearance of human stool, spanning a spectrum from extremely hard, fragmented pellets to an entirely liquid, watery consistency, numbered sequentially from 1 through 7. I cannot emphasize enough the immense benefit of printing this scale and prominently displaying it within your bathroom. There is absolutely no cause for embarrassment or shame in doing so. It is a legitimate medical instrument specifically designed to empower you, enabling you to proactively monitor and manage your own health with an informed perspective. If, upon inspection, your stool consistently resembles type 1 on the Bristol scale, characterized by very hard, separate, distinct little pellets, often likened to rabbit droppings, and notoriously difficult to pass, this is a definitive indication of constipation. In this scenario, your intestine has been retaining fecal matter for an unduly prolonged duration, causing it to dehydrate and solidify within your colon. This physiological process not only engenders significant pain and discomfort during bowel movements, but also frequently leads to the development of hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and critically, it markedly escalates systemic inflammation throughout your entire body, contributing to a host of other health issues. Conversely, at the extreme opposite end of this spectrum lies type 7, which denotes completely liquid diarrhea. This consistency signifies that your intestinal system is propelling food through its tract with excessive rapidity, thereby severely impeding its ability to adequately absorb essential nutrients, leading to potential deficiencies and other complications. Here's the pivotal insight I want to indelibly imprint upon your memory. Ideally, your stool should manifest as formed but possessing a soft, pastel-like consistency, occupying the desirable middle ground, neither unyieldingly rock-hard nor entirely liquid. Crucially, it should exhibit a healthy, medium brown coloration. When digested food transitions from your stomach into your intestine, it undergoes a vital mixing process with bile, which initially presents with a greenish hue. As digestion proceeds and the bile interacts with enzymes and bacteria, it undergoes a chemical transformation, imparting that characteristic brown color to your stool. Therefore, that familiar brown shade is not merely aesthetically normal. It is a direct physiological indicator of healthy, properly functioning digestion. Now let's address an aspect that, in my experience, is regrettably seldom explained with appropriate clarity by other medical practitioners. It is insufficient for only the form and color of your stool to appear normal. The frequency of your bowel movements is an equally critical parameter. Optimally, an individual should experience a complete bowel movement every single day, ideally occurring at a consistent, predictable time. While it is true that some individuals naturally operate on a slightly different rhythm, experiencing a bowel movement every other day, if this has been your established lifelong pattern and you consistently experience a complete sensation of emptying and relief afterward, then this can indeed be considered within your personal range of normal. However, a significant red flag that absolutely demands immediate attention arises when more than 2 or 3 days elapse without a bowel movement, or, more critically, when you observe sudden, unexplained, and persistent alterations in your established, usual bowel pattern. Changes in bowel frequency are rarely random or without cause. They serve as potential indicators of a wide array of underlying issues, ranging from physical intestinal blockages or obstructions to subtle hormonal imbalances, such as thyroid dysfunction or the physiological impacts of menopause. Chronic stress, a pervasive modern ailment, can profoundly disrupt gut motility, as can certain medications you might be taking. Furthermore, insufficient dietary fiber or inadequate water intake are common culprits. More seriously, persistent changes can signal deeper concerns related to the health of your liver or pancreas, organs intrinsically linked to digestive processes. Form, color, and frequency. These 3 elements constitute your essential, daily diagnostic keys to monitoring your gut health. Let's now transition to specific, unequivocal danger signs that warrant immediate investigation. Healthy stool should exit the body with a normal, consistent thickness, typically approximating the diameter of a ripe banana. If you consistently observe your stool emerging significantly thinner, unusually narrow, or distinctly pencil-like in appearance, this can serve as a potent warning that something is partially obstructing or narrowing the internal passageway within your intestine. While this particular presentation does not automatically equate to a cancer diagnosis, it could potentially be attributed to inadequate dietary fiber, the presence of diverticula, or even an anal fissure causing an unconscious tightening of the sphincter. It undeniably can, in more serious instances, indicate the presence of a growing tumor. Therefore, if you repeatedly notice these thin, pencil-like stools, particularly if this represents a marked deviation from your usual pattern, it is imperative that you consult a physician promptly. Beyond the visual attributes of stool, the sensations you experience during and after using the bathroom are equally informative. When you complete a bowel movement, you should experience a distinct, undeniable sensation of complete emptying, a profound sense of relief in your lower abdomen. Regrettably, many individuals, particularly as they advance in age, find themselves sitting on the toilet for extended durations, perpetually feeling as though they have not fully finished. This phenomenon is clinically termed evacuatory dysfunction, and it is notably prevalent among women, particularly after menopause, often due to changes in pelvic floor strength and function. Another deeply concerning symptom is the persistent nagging sensation of needing to pass stool throughout the day, even immediately after you have just had a bowel movement. This uncomfortable and often distressing feeling is known as tenesmus, and it unequivocally signifies that your intestine has either not emptied properly or is actively experiencing a state of inflammation, both of which require medical assessment. For those grappling with the discomfort and potential health repercussions of constipation, allow me to offer my specific evidence-based recommendations to help restore regularity and comfort. The moment you awaken each morning, before consuming anything else, make it a habit to drink a full, large glass of water. This simple act serves as a potent physiological stimulus, effectively activating your entire intestinal system and encouraging peristalsis. Throughout the remainder of the day, continue this crucial hydration practice by consuming another glass of water every 1 to 2 hours, ensuring you cease intake approximately 2 hours before bedtime to avoid nocturnal awakenings. Alongside diligent hydration, it is vital to gradually increase your dietary fiber intake. Begin by incorporating 1 or 2 tablespoons of chia seeds or ground flax seeds into your daily yogurt or oatmeal. These seeds are exceptional sources of soluble and insoluble fiber, aiding in stool bulking and transit. Furthermore, consciously integrate fruits renowned for their natural laxative properties into your diet. Prunes with their high sorbitol content, papaya, especially with its seeds, kiwi, and apples, always consumed with their skin for maximum fiber, are all excellent choices. I frequently advocate for the preparation and consumption of a fresh green juice, a potent blend typically comprising celery, apple, and fresh ginger. Aim to drink 1 to 2 glasses of this concoction daily for its digestive benefits. On the other end of the spectrum, if you find that diarrhea persists for a duration exceeding 4 weeks, this condition is clinically defined as chronic diarrhea, and it necessitates a thorough, comprehensive medical investigation. We must meticulously rule out conditions such as colitis, various inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, chronic parasitic infections that can silently undermine gut health, the presence of polyps, or other potentially significant underlying problems. Persistent diarrhea is far more than just an inconvenience. It can lead to severe dehydration, significant malnutrition due to impaired nutrient absorption, and dangerous electrolyte imbalances, all of which mandate prompt diagnosis and treatment of the underlying cause. Now let's delve into the fascinating and often concerning realm of stool color variations. If your stool occasionally appears green, this typically does not warrant immediate alarm. This coloration usually indicates one of 2 common scenarios. Either your intestine is moving food through its tract at an accelerated pace, consequently not allowing the bile sufficient time to complete its natural transformation from green to brown, or you have recently consumed a substantial quantity of dark, leafy greens such as spinach or broccoli, whose chlorophyll content can temporarily tint your stool. However, if your stool consistently presents with a yellowish or pale hue, appearing clay-like or even whitish, and this abnormal coloration persists for a duration exceeding 2 or 3 days, it can serve as a crucial signal. This persistent paleness may indicate compromised fat digestion, which can point towards a parasitic infection, or more seriously, underlying issues with your pancreas, liver, or bile ducts, organs intrinsically involved in the production and flow of bile, essential for healthy digestion. regarding the age-old curiosity about whether stool floats or sinks. For many years, a prevalent belief circulated that floating stools were a definitive indicator of serious disease. However, modern medical understanding has refined this perspective. We now recognize that the mere act of floating versus sinking by itself is not a clinically significant diagnostic factor. Stools simply float because they contain a higher proportion of gas, often due to fermentation processes in the gut. What truly holds diagnostic significance, what genuinely matters, are the fundamental characteristics of form, consistency, frequency, and critically, any marked or inexplicable changes from what constitutes normal for your individual body. These are the parameters that should consistently command your observational attention. We have now arrived at arguably the most critical juncture of our discussion. What then is universally considered the single most dangerous type of stool? The absolute worst-case scenario that necessitates an immediate medical emergency response? This alarming presentation occurs when your stool appears profoundly dark, almost jet black, with a distinct viscous consistency reminiscent of tar or coal. This specific finding is medically termed melena, and I cannot underscore with sufficient emphasis the profound seriousness of its manifestation. Melena typically indicates substantial bleeding originating from the upper regions of your digestive tract, specifically your stomach or small intestine. The blood, as it traverses the extensive journey through your digestive system, becomes partially digested by enzymes and acids, undergoing chemical alteration that imparts its characteristic black, tarry appearance. What precipitates such a critical condition? Potential causes include a severely bleeding ulcer in your stomach or duodenum, active bleeding from intestinal diverticula, small pouches in the intestinal wall, the rupture of small blood vessels within your intestine, or, in certain deeply concerning instances, a silently bleeding, hidden cancer within the gastrointestinal tract. The black tarry texture is a definitive physiological clue, signaling that the bleeding is not trivial, but substantial and ongoing. If you ever, at any point, observe black, tarry stools, do not, under any circumstances, procrastinate. Do not rationalize that you will contact your doctor tomorrow. Your immediate action should be to proceed directly to an emergency room, or, if it is during regular office hours, call your physician immediately and clearly state the nature of your symptom. I have personally witnessed patients who tragically delayed seeking care for black stools, and by the time they finally presented themselves, their condition had deteriorated to the point of requiring urgent blood transfusions and emergency surgical intervention to save their lives. Please do not allow yourself to become one of these regrettable statistics. There is another vivid and equally urgent color warning that demands your astute attention: the presence of bright red blood. If you discern bright red blood on the toilet paper after wiping, observe it vividly on the surface of your stool, or find it conspicuously mixed throughout the fecal matter. This too necessitates immediate and thorough medical evaluation. Bright red blood typically signifies bleeding originating from the lower segments of your intestine, specifically your colon or rectum. Sometimes the source of this bleeding is relatively minor and benign, such as hemorrhoids, swollen veins in the anus or rectum, or a small anal fissure, which is a tear in the lining of the anal canal. However, and this is a crucial distinction, bright red blood can also serve as a direct and undeniable indicator of polyps actively growing within your colon. While polyps typically begin as benign growths, certain types possess the dangerous propensity to transform into malignant cancer cells over an extended period. More gravely, bright red blood can also be an explicit sign of colon cancer that has already developed and is actively present. The unequivocal message here is paramount. Blood in your stool, irrespective of its color, whether dark and tarry or bright red, should never be dismissed with a casual assumption of probably just hemorrhoids. Always, without exception, seek professional medical scrutiny to have it thoroughly checked. which will likely involve a comprehensive physical examination and quite possibly a colonoscopy to definitively ascertain the cause. Now let me empower you with 3 profoundly effective strategies designed to safeguard and significantly enhance your intestinal health, commencing today. These are not complex medical interventions, but rather straightforward, actionable habits that, if adopted with commitment and consistency, will not only dramatically improve your digestive function, but also elevate your overall energy levels and contribute immeasurably to your general well-being. Strategy number 1, move your body every single day. Our bodies were fundamentally designed for movement, not for prolonged periods of sedentary existence. If the majority of your day is spent sitting or lying down, your entire intestinal system inevitably becomes sluggish, its inherent motility significantly impaired. Your colon, a muscular organ, absolutely requires consistent physical activity to function at its optimal capacity. The solution need not involve strenuous workouts, simply engaging in a brisk walk for 20 to 30 minutes daily, incorporating gentle stretching routines, or maintaining a reasonable level of activity as you perform household tasks can make an enormous, palpable difference. Physical activity specifically stimulates the natural, wave-like contractions of your intestinal muscles, a process known as peristalsis, which is essential for efficiently propelling waste material through your digestive tract. Make daily movement a non-negotiable component of your routine. Your gut health profoundly depends on it. Strategy number 2, undergo at least 1 colonoscopy after you reach age 50. While current recommendations have evolved, now often suggesting initial screening at age 45, and even earlier if you possess a familial history of colon cancer, the core message remains universally critical. Colorectal cancer stands as one of the most prevalent and, unfortunately, one of the deadliest forms of cancer globally. Its insidious nature lies in its typical growth pattern. It often develops slowly and silently over many years, allowing a tumor to progress to an advanced stage without manifesting any discernible symptoms. Herein lies the truly empowering aspect. Colorectal cancer is also one of the most preventable cancers. Nearly all colon cancers originate as small, benign growths termed polyps. A colonoscopy provides the unparalleled advantage of allowing a physician to meticulously examine the entire colon, identify these polyps, and surgically remove them before they ever have the opportunity to transform into cancerous tissue. It is, quite literally, a procedure of cancer prevention, not merely detection. If your initial colonoscopy yields entirely normal results, indicating no polyps or abnormalities, the standard recommendation is to repeat the procedure in 10 years. Yes, the preparatory process, which involves cleansing your colon the day prior with a potent laxative solution, is undeniably unpleasant and inconvenient. However, that single day of temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for a procedure that could quite literally save your life. Strategy number 3, protect and nurture your intestinal microbiota every single day. This strategy, in my professional estimation, is arguably the most powerful and transformative. Your gut microbiota is not merely a collection of bacteria. It is a dynamic, complex ecosystem, a bustling metropolis teeming with trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, and fungi that symbiotically reside within your intestinal tract. When you consciously commit to caring for and maintaining the delicate balance of this intricate ecosystem, it functions as a highly trained, dedicated army of protectors, tirelessly working on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Allow me to elaborate on the astonishing array of functions these microscopic allies perform. They are indispensable in the process of breaking down and digesting food, particularly complex fibers that your own digestive enzymes are incapable of processing. They are industrious manufacturers of essential vitamins, including vital B vitamins and vitamin K. They play a pivotal role in strengthening and meticulously regulating your immune system, with approximately 70% of your entire immune system residing within the gut-associated lymphoid tissue. Furthermore, they profoundly influence your mood and mental health by actively producing neurotransmitters like serotonin, the feel-good chemical. Their influence extends even further, impacting your weight regulation, your metabolic efficiency, the baseline levels of inflammation throughout your entire body, your daily energy levels, and even crucial, cognitive functions such as memory and clarity of thought. When your microbiota is robust, diverse, and perfectly balanced, you experience an intrinsic sense of well-being, radiating vitality. Your energy levels are sustained, your digestion operates smoothly and efficiently, and your immune system adeptly protects you from pathogens. Conversely, when your microbiota becomes disrupted, a state known as dysbiosis, your entire body suffers the repercussions. You may find yourself experiencing chronic digestive problems, an increased susceptibility to infections, a worsening of chronic inflammatory diseases, mood disturbances, unexplained weight gain, the unwelcome phenomenon of brain fog, and persistent fatigue. So, how do you actively protect and cultivate this vital internal ecosystem? First and foremost, you must diligently avoid elements that cause it damage. The single biggest culprit in disrupting the gut microbiota is the inappropriate and often excessive use of antibiotics. While antibiotics are undeniably life-saving when genuinely required to combat severe bacterial infections, they are tragically overprescribed, particularly for viral infections against which they are utterly ineffective. Every instance you take antibiotics, you are indiscriminately eradicating beneficial gut bacteria alongside the pathogenic ones. It can take weeks to many months for your gut to even begin to recover its previous state of balance, and in some unfortunate cases, it may never fully return to its former healthy diversity. Therefore, commit to taking antibiotics only when medically necessary for confirmed bacterial infections, not for every common cold or minor illness. Secondly, you must actively and consistently support your gut microbiota by regularly consuming both probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics are live beneficial bacteria that you introduce into your system through ingestion. The finest and most effective food sources of probiotics are fermented foods. Look for plain, unsweetened yogurt explicitly labeled with live active cultures. Always check the label for this crucial detail. Kefir, a fermented milk drink, often boasts an even more diverse array of beneficial bacteria than yogurt. Fermented vegetables, such as traditional sauerkraut, kimchi, and genuine pickles, ensure they are brine fermented, not simply vinegar pickled, are excellent sources. Kombucha, a fermented tea drink, also offers probiotic benefits. Strive to include at least one serving of fermented foods in your daily diet. Prebiotics are equally, if not more, important. They are essentially the specialized food that nourishes and sustains your good gut bacteria. These are specific types of dietary fiber that your human digestive enzymes cannot break down, but your gut bacteria can readily ferment and utilize. When your beneficial bacteria consume these prebiotics, they multiply and thrive, further strengthening your gut ecosystem. Where can you find these invaluable prebiotics? They are abundant in simple, everyday whole foods. Slightly less ripe bananas, particularly those with a hint of green, are excellent sources. Apples, whole oats, brown rice, onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, seeds of all kinds, fruits eaten with their skins intact, and a wide variety of other vegetables all contribute significant amounts of prebiotic fiber. The truly beautiful and empowering aspect of this approach is that you are not reliant on expensive, often questionable supplements. You are simply consuming real, wholesome foods, the very foods that humans have thrived on for millennia, and in doing so, you are naturally nourishing the beneficial bacteria that are indispensable for maintaining your health. This is the essence of true preventive medicine, and you possess complete immediate control over it, beginning with your very next meal. Let me now bring all these critical insights together for you: the proactive commitment to caring for your digestive health and developing the astute ability to recognize its subtle yet potent warning signs is not merely about the optimal functioning of your intestines. It is fundamentally about safeguarding your entire overall health. profoundly enhancing your quality of life, and indeed, potentially extending your very survival. Your digestive system is intricately and inextricably connected to every other system within your body. When it operates with optimal efficiency and balance, you experience a pervasive sense of well-being. My deepest desire is for you to feel profoundly empowered by this knowledge, not frightened. Knowledge, in this context, truly is power. And now you possess the essential knowledge required to effectively monitor your own health, to recognize crucial warning signs at their earliest stages, and to take decisive action before minor problems have the opportunity to escalate into major, life-threatening crises. Start paying meticulous attention today. Every single time you use the bathroom, take just a moment, a mere few seconds, to consciously observe. Make this vigilant observation a non-negotiable, ingrained habit. Your health is your single most valuable asset, and you possess far more control over it than you might currently perceive. Small, consistent actions, when diligently applied over time, compound into dramatic, life-altering results. Do not defer action. Do not wait until you are confronted with a serious, debilitating problem to begin caring about your digestive health. Start now, today, with your very next meal and your very next trip to the bathroom. I am Dr. Robert Harrison, and I am dedicated to providing you with the vital information and practical tools you need to take absolute charge of your health, empowering you to live your longest, healthiest, and most vibrantly fulfilling life possible. If you found this video to be helpful and informative, I earnestly ask that you please share it generously with your friends, family members, and especially with those individuals over the age of 50 who most urgently need to hear and understand this life-saving information. Thank you sincerely for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video, where we will continue this essential journey toward achieving optimal health and well-being.